Hey guys, I just got finished recording the Alice in Wonderland chapter. Uh, I really apologize for the delay. I had it recorded and the video software I was using was terrible and I need new one. And, I don't edit, so I terrible. Um, but I just wanted to do a quick introduction to the book that I'm gonna be reading with Alice in Wonderland. I'm not gonna stop that one. I don't know if anybody's watching these videos at all, but I really enjoyed reading Alice in Wonderland. That one's a lot of fun. But this is a book that's really dear to me. It's called Heavy Metal in You by Christopher Krovatin, and it's been a book that frequently pops up in my life, usually when I need it the most. I've got my own favorite selection parts of it. I've got, like, the whole book is just fantastic to me, and I could go on for days about how much I love this book and what I really like about it. Um, it is a little more um, of a young adult's book with the language and content. It does talk about drug use and alcohol consumption. There's a lot of swearing. Um, this is high school students. They drink, they smoke, they do drugs. High school boys. This book was written back in the 90s, I believe. It follows a young man, and he is a metalhead, pretty much. He lives and breathes this stuff. It's just the way he expresses his entirety, and it, it's a book about being yourself and compromises for relationships and just like learning about yourself in social situations and all sorts of things like that. But what I really grasp onto that is self-discovery and learning to be comfortable with who you are and not having to change necessarily for other people, which you already had a big grasp on, but it's also about like accepting things in your life. If you do follow this story with me, you'll understand a little bit more about that. Um, Especially if you like the harder rock, more metal music, you'll definitely get along with this book. This book helped me and become introduced to this kind of music. I came to find it um, shortly after I started listening to rock music because I already liked classic rock and a little bit of modern rock. But this book really helped me reach out. I was like, well, I want to get to know this character, so I listened because they do mention a lot of real music in here. They'll mention directly songs, albums, and artists. They don't make anything up so far as I know music-wise. I've been able to find most of the things they talk about on YouTube or on the radio or anything, and it's a lot of fun to me every time that I read it because I'll know more and more about the culture and the music than I did the last time. Being just self-exploration. There are elements in this book that I'm going to have to verbally use. During the chapters, you'll see on the book here there's a play button, um, and on this side you've got some fast forward marks. This is to direct the flow of the story, to tell you if we're going to a flashback, if we're pausing somewhere in a moment to explain something, or if we're going to skip a few events that we'll go back to or something. Um, So if you are listening along and you hear me say pause or fast forward or play, that is what's going on. It's not the end of a chapter, it's just an element, much like what other people would use line breaks for, those separate asterisks if you're looking online. Uh, it's like the other day in a comic book. It's just an element to help you recognize where the story's going currently. What really got me when I first started reading this was the way this book is written. It's much like a normal conversation. It's very real to me because the dialogue in this book the entire book is written in dialogue. Um, I'm not going to read the acknowledgments. It's a good part of the book because it's just about how much the author how much the author's life has played into this book. Um, the people in his life that supported him through his dark phases as a child, his introduction to rock music, the bands that he loves. His favorite band is Slayer, and that comes through in the book because his character's favorite book, uh, music is Slayer. So this is um, very much part of his personality. It talks about his friends, the people that supported him to write the book. Um, there's his picture on the back there. He's pretty young still. He was born in '85, so he's like 9 years older than me. So he's in his 30s now. I wonder if he's written any more books, 'cause this one's good. So I'm just gonna read the back here. That this is all that they give you on the back for the summary. It says, so here's the story. Boy listens to lots of loud music and hangs with his friends. Boy meets girl. Boy falls dippy happy scared as hell in love with girl. Friends meet girl and aren't impressed. Girl meets friends and isn't impressed. Boy meets big dilemma. Boy plays music even louder. Big dilemma meets big, sometimes unexpected decisions. And that's basically just an intro into like the first half of the book that gives you um, pretty good insight into what happens without revealing anything too much. As you can see, I've been reading it since I got it. I got it fairly recently. Haven't had too much time to read it, but I always love reading it over and over. Um, so it'll be nice to start reading something that I'm really passionate about with you guys to see what you guys think of this kind of book. I'm not gonna set an adult like warning on on these books. I'm gonna have something in the description probably for language and content just because this I don't think it's good for smaller children to be listening to like it is for Alice in Wonderland or any other children's book I would read in the future. But I want to be able to read more grown up things as well. And this isn't too mature, but it's definitely got content that kids should not be listening to just because there's a lot of like sex, drugs, rock and roll, violence, that kind of thing. Like within the first couple of chapters, there are people barfing on each other's shoes. Uh, they're teenagers. They make jokes all the time. They smoke cigarettes and talk about each other's moms. It's high school, man. But I I really like this book, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. And if you guys want, I can link the music if you guys are having a hard time finding it, or if you want me to, I can link the music in the descriptions. I've already made a playlist for part of the book because at one point he makes a mix track for his girlfriend. I've already made that, so if you want me to link that when it comes up in the chapters. This is basically what I did when I first read the book and had access to YouTube. I basically was like, okay, what music is on here? And I wrote everything down and just listened to the music. So, I like reading the reviews as well. It's good to know at least one of America's most evocative, most original young writers is listening to Celtic Frost albums from an author, from the author of Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs and Killing Yourself to Live. Oh, Killing Yourself to Live, that's another book. With humor and heart, heavy metal in you strikes the same loud chords about life, love, sex, and friendship. Infused with the story Infusing the story with music, humor, and anger, Krovatin records a perfect take on relationships and how they change. Book list. Uh, I also want to note this book is very small. It's just under 200 pages, and this is the paperback version, and the paperback is much bigger than the um, hardback version, which I had always come across. The hardback version, I would say, is about this tall by about that wide, and just like a little thicker, just because it's hardback. The print is smaller. This print is pretty large. Like you can see the numbers. That page is blank, but the print's pretty large on the page for the small pages. And it's not a large book, and I like that. It's very short, it's very easy to follow, it's very easy to read. There aren't too many large words. There are some that you may want to look up just because not everyone in the culture, or not everyone is in the culture, and not everyone is as well read or well history oriented. It's just a thing. Some people are very philosophical, some people aren't. I'm not saying that nobody is smart. That is one of the things that they challenge in this, that there's a stereotype that metalheads are just stupid Satan worshippers. They make a joke about that in the book, actually. It's kind of funny. So, um, I guess that ends my little intro to the book. I hope you guys like it. When I do get around to reading it, I will probably make a recording of it tomorrow, as along with my uh, show off. I got most everything that I needed in the mail, so I can show that stuff off to you guys. I'm recording this with my Razer headphones and my new camera. It's very zoom. I can't fix the zoom. It's just really, really zoom all the time. So eh. I also got this little dangly. It's Joker. He's adorable. He was like $5 at Walmart. Um, and I guess while I'm showing things I got here, my mom got me a new camera for my birthday. It's a camcorder, so we're gonna have nice. It's the camcorder. I'll show it off in the other stuff video, but I can't wait to bring video to the con, which I'm really excited for next week. One more week. Um, so yeah, I've got some packing to do, and I've got lots of stuff coming up. So thanks, and I see you. Bye.